Most Christians talk about the law, but they don't realize it came in three parts. If you've ever read the Old Testament and thought, why are there so many laws? You're not alone. But here's the part that most people never learned. The Old Covenant wasn't one giant list. It was three different categories God gave to Israel, and understanding these categories changes how you read the Bible entirely. So let's take a look. First was the moral law. The moral law is God's unchanging standard of right and wrong. This included the Ten Commandments, and it reflects God's character, justice, purity, honesty, and faithfulness. The moral law shows us what holiness looks like. It didn't make anybody righteous, it revealed the need for righteousness. Romans 3:20 says, through the law, we become conscious of our sin. The moral law was a mirror. It showed the problem, but it could never fix the problem. Next, we have the civil law. Remember, Israel wasn't just a religious community, it was a nation. So God gave them civil law, like criminal justice, property rights, restitution, penalties, and community order. These laws were never given to the entire world. They were for Israel's national identity, its government, and its society. They protected the vulnerable, punished injustice, and kept Israel distinct from the nations around it. The civil law applied to Israel as a nation under the Old Covenant, not to the church under the New Covenant. Next, we have the ceremonial law. This is the part of the law that Christians find really confusing. The sacrifices, priests, temple, rituals, purification laws, festivals, and the offerings. Why were they given? Because they pointed directly to Jesus. Hebrews 10:1 says, the law is only a shadow of the good things that are coming. The sacrifices pointed to the cross. The priesthood pointed to Jesus, our high priest. The temple pointed to God dwelling in us through the Holy Spirit. The ceremonial law was a picture and Jesus was a fulfillment. So why does this matter? Because when you understand these three categories, you understand why Christians are no longer under the old law and why the new covenant has come. The moral law revealed sin. The civil law governed Israel, and the ceremonial law pointed to Jesus. All three served a very unique purpose. All three were part of God's old covenant that he made with Israel. But the moment Jesus came, fulfilled the law, and established a new covenant by his blood,